Hello United fans, welcome to the United Report, your go-to source for the latest news, match updates and transfer stories straight from Old Trafford. The power brokers at Manchester United will not allow Marcus Rashford to join another Premier League club this month. Rashford, 27, admitted he was ready for a new challenge last month, generating interest in his services from all across Europe. But some of United's top-flight rivals have also been weighing up a potential move for the forward. However, United would not be willing to sanction a domestic switch, as first revealed by the Daily Star. And that is set to leave the likes of Chelsea, Tottenham and West Ham, all of whom have shown signs of interest in Rashford, bitterly disappointed. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is said to have no desire to sanction such a move, meaning Rashford is likely to join an overseas club in the coming weeks. United know they will have to supplement a significant portion of Rashford's £350,000 a week wages in order to get him off the books in the January transfer window. And Ratcliffe is unwilling to do that and potentially aid a domestic rival in finishing above Manchester United come the end of the season. Rashford has already received offers from Saudi Arabia and the United States, but the player's preference is to remain in Europe. AC Milan are leading the race to sign him and have held talks with Rashford's representatives. No agreement has been reached though, with plenty of other clubs also lurking in the background. Ruben Amorim has hardly used Rashford since taking charge of the club back in November. And he was giving nothing away when he was asked if the forward has already played his last game for the club. "I don't know," he said. "I don't know, we'll see. He is a player for Manchester United. We'll see. He has to work. He has to represent this club, and he loves this club, but I have to make choices. I already spoke about how I make the choices, so it is what it is. So let's continue. Let's see the next game. And like I said, I have to make a selection." Manchester United could finally be about to move ahead with their first signing of the January transfer window after missing out on Randal Kolo Muani. United have endured a quiet winter window regarding transfer business, regarding new signings following the £180 million investment in the summer transfer window. However, Ruben Amorim's squad is in need of reinforcements across the board following a tough start to the 2024/25 season. Injuries at left-back to Luke Shaw means that position is of focus with a centre-forward also tipped. But big money transfers are all but off the table this month due to concerns of complying with the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules, PSR. One name that has been mentioned with a move to Old Trafford is Paris Saint-Germain striker Kolo Muani. The France international is currently struggling for game time in Paris, with Luis Enrique preferring Goncalo Ramos throughout. A loan move had been touted, but any chance of the forward moving to Manchester have been scuppered with him closing in on a move to Juventus. It's understood that the 26-year-old will move to Turin on loan, with no buy option included. Losing out on Kolo Muani is a blow for Amorim, but when one door closes, another presents itself. His move to the Allianz Stadium places doubt over Dusan Vlahovic's future at the club, and he could be available this month. Various reports have linked the Serbia international with a move to Arsenal this month, amid their concerns in attack. Vlahovic's contract at Juventus is set to expire in 2026, meaning the Italian side are running out of time to cash in. CalcioMercato.com have claimed that Juventus would be willing to listen to offers for the striker, and it's understood that he would be enthusiastic over the idea of a move to the Premier League. A fee of €60 million, £50.4 million, has been mooted, a fee United simply can't afford this month. However, with Kolo Muani coming in temporarily, a loan move for Vlahovic makes perfect sense for United. Not only do they get a new face in attack, but they can make the most of the situation in Turin and revisit Kolo Muani's situation in the summer. United have secured their first signing of 2025, with youngster Diego Leon completing a move to the club. The 17-year-old defender completed a medical to finalise his move from Paraguay side Cerro Porteño on Monday. Marcus Rashford's Manchester United transfer saga has continued to rumble on this month with each passing day, making it seem all the less likely that a resolution will be found. When Rashford was dropped from the squad that beat Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium, the consensus was that it was a warning to the forward to buck his ideas up. However, it ended up being the beginning of the end. A few days later, Rashford's interview with Henry Winter was published, declaring his desire to seek a new challenge away from Old Trafford. He insisted that when the time comes to leave United, he will not speak ill of the club, nor does he want to leave the Reds on bad terms. Those objectives are admirable, but with each passing day, they seem harder to accomplish. Rashford missed the trip to Liverpool due to illness, and it was assumed that was also the case for his absence at Arsenal. Whether it was or wasn't, Rashford was not missed in either squad as United continued to move on without him. Now, the forward has taken to social media to post himself in the gym, training hard, and confirming he is now recovered from his illness. At first glance, this feels like a clear message directed at Ruben Amorim and United, expressing his desire, without the use of words, to play for the Reds again before a move is sealed. However, it could also be interpreted as a message to potential suitors. It is believed Rashford's agent and brother Dane has been in Europe exploring options for his client and sibling. You would not be surprised if Dane has been met with questions over whether the winger is worth the investment. Let's not forget, Rashford is on a hefty wage, and his form has not reflected the salary he currently receives. He has not played since the beginning of January, and potential suitors would need reassurances that Rashford could hit the ground running, if required. His post on social media, showing his dedication to staying in shape, is perhaps the strongest message yet that he is in a position to play for a new club straight away. Right now, any deal, whether it be a loan or permanent, seems like the priority for Rashford and United. The longer the speculation continues, the more damage it does to his reputation at Old Trafford. It seems ludicrous to suggest a trip to the Emirates or Anfield could be an easier assignment than a home clash against a so-called smaller team. Yet when character is an issue in your side, maybe it's not so far-fetched a suggestion. Manchester United did something only 6 teams have managed this season when they stopped Liverpool taking all 3 points in the recent Premier League clash at Anfield. They then dug in and managed to take their FA Cup tie with Arsenal to penalties, despite playing more than an hour with 10 men following Diogo Dalot's expulsion. If a side can do that, having been battered by Newcastle in a 2-0 defeat that could easily have seen the visitors score 4 or 5 by half-time, a result that came just days after being beaten by relegation strugglers Wolves, something must be wrong. Bruno Fernandes suggested as much following the draw at Liverpool, telling Sky Sports, "Obviously, I think it's a really good result, and we could have won the game in the end, but I think it's a fair result. Both teams played really good, and it was intense football. There were chances for both sides, but we can't be satisfied. And I'm pretty upset because if we showed this today against Liverpool, who are first in the league, at Anfield, so they are probably the outstanding team in the league this season, why can't we do this every week? Off days are part and parcel of sport, and no team can be at their best 100% of the time. But the United captain makes a very fair point when they've been so frequent for so long. United's last 2 games have seen them afforded rare midweeks off, with a 6-day gap between the Newcastle and Liverpool games and a 7-day break between the Liverpool and Arsenal matches. The schedule gave Ruben Amorim precious time on the training ground with his squad, the first time he's been afforded such a luxury since his appointment in early November. So were the improved displays at Anfield a result of extra training and time to gel on the Carrington training pitches? Or is this simply a United squad that is prepared to turn up for the big occasions, yet goes missing against teams they should be beating? After a slow start to life in England, Manuel Ugarte is starting to find his feet in a Manchester United shirt. Fresh from producing a very eye-catching performance against Liverpool at Anfield, the Uruguay international delivered another dogged showing against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium in the FA Cup on Sunday afternoon. For the second game running, he started alongside Kobbie Mainoo in the centre of midfield, tasked with stifling the home side and giving United as much grit and determination as possible. The 23-year-old is quickly establishing himself as the midfield battering ram United have been lacking. He was not as destructive as he was against Liverpool, highlighted by his tackle count stopping at 2, but he was just as determined to roll up his sleeves and leave everything on the pitch, and that was reflected in the former Paris Saint-Germain midfielder's post-match social media message. Reacting to the game, he posted on Instagram, "When we have the ball, it's a game, and when we don't, it's a fight. Let's keep it going, always together." Ugarte's social media message, specifically the reference to the need to fight, is the sort of thing United supporters have been longing for from members of the squad. United have regularly been criticised for displaying a poor mentality in recent years, but their last two performances have suggested Ruben Amorim is in the process of fixing that problem. Ugarte has been a big part of that fix, being signed in the summer to offer United the aggression they have lacked in midfield for far too long. He thrives on winning the ball back and doing the dirty side of the game. Ugarte was actually Erik Ten Hag's third-choice midfield signing, and despite struggling to force his way into Ten Hag's plans after his arrival from PSG at the end of August, the midfielder was informed by the former United manager that he would help United with their fight in a video that was released by the club, showing behind-the-scenes footage of Ugarte being given a tour of the training ground after joining United. Ten Hag and Ugarte approached a wall within the training ground complex that had "Unite and Fight" written on it. Ten Hag pointed to the word "fight" on the wall and told Ugarte, "This guy brings us the fight." Ugarte was initially confused as to what Ten Hag was referring to, asking who. Once he understood the point Ten Hag was making, Ugarte said, "It is normal for me to fight. It's normal." Based on his recent showings, which have been much improved since being reunited with Amorim, with whom he worked with at Sporting Lisbon, Ugarte has regularly demonstrated that fighting spirit, frequently being an aggressor in midfield. Ugarte is developing a strong midfield relationship with Mainu, offering United fans encouragement that their midfield woes may finally be solved with what could be a long-term solution. Ugarte is the disciplinarian United have lacked in the middle.